I just realized I didn't even have my headset on this whole time, so you wouldn't have been able to hear me. You should have heard me laugh when you sent me that message. It was actually kind of hilarious. I'm like, yeah, I guess you did watch the song. Or how would you know that's the chorus? Yeah, just give me a second. I'm just going to take a bong hit and then I'll start the match. But I mean, all I was really trying to say in that was, don't forget, I mean, I am a bit of a nerd, but I'm not a stupid nerd. Like, I'm not a dweeb. I've done a lot of research into what we're talking about right now. I was more just saying you're not wasting your time. I had my mic muted while I was sending you all those messages. You're probably wondering actually how I even send such long messages so articulated considering I have dyslexia. It's actually because I use text-to-speech. It's so much easier. Well, for me, I mean, it would take me like 10 minutes to type most of those messages, I guess. Okay, well maybe it'll probably show that you're on in a few seconds or something. Because it doesn't show you're viewing it right now. Damn it. I gotta grab something. Give me a second. Fuck. I gotta grab, like, my little stand for my tablet. So that way it's just sitting in front of me, stood up. I'll start the match in a few seconds. Like I said, I'm just taking a bong hit really quick. And also setting this up so that way I can comment back and stuff to you. It's a bit tricky. Okay, everything's set up now. There we go. I'm just gotta plug up my headset to make sure it don't die on me. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this bong hit and then I'll get the match started. It doesn't do this. The force is strong in this one. Strong the force is within me, young Padawan. Silly Jedi assume they shall defeat our Sith powers. I kind of laughed my ass off at the comment you sent. Oh, okay. It's showing there's somebody watching now. There we go. If the screen flashed there, it's because I have it set up. Like, if you have it set up where you can see the comments on your screen, and the viewers on your screen while playing a game, what it does is it cuts your screen down to make the box for it, and then it cuts off the bottom of your TV to make your screen equal. So my 40-inch gets reduced to a 32. What I do now is I take it off, so that way when someone comments, it'll pop up on the corner of my screen, or when someone joins the view, it'll pop up on the corner of my screen. So unless I see the person popping in, the only way I can actually check my viewers is I go back to the PlayStation screen to see it. What I do for comments and all that, like this is what the actual streamers use, so that way they don't have to worry about that bullshit. And you just basically grab your tablet, you download what's called the second screen app, and long story short, my tablet's sitting in front of me now, and any comment you make I see pop up like on my tablet, and then I can put a comment in through my tablet. Which really works when you have dyslexia, and on top of the fact you're playing a video game and holding on to the controller, because I just push the little microphone button, say what I want to make my comment, and then there we go. It's like I said before, that's how I type such long messages to begin with. Honestly, I used to be an extremely lazy texter until I found out about the little button on top, because just typing people a paragraph would take me like 5 minutes because of my dyslexia. It's kind of hilarious. It was my English teacher that figured out that I had it. I thought I only had ADHD until like high school, and then he noticed that I got 95 in science, history, and math, and all that shit. I got 52 in English, and it was all based on my spelling, so it's pretty obvious. But yes, let's pick my shit. What's everybody else going on? Okay, we've got 2 TIE fighters, no interceptors or
Hello,
support.
Danny.
Yeah, I know. It's because I got dyslexia, actually. It's weird. It's hilarious that after my English teacher, kind of figured out that I had that problem, the way they do it here in Canada is once you have dyslexia, the English tests and all that shit, you're allowed to dictate it. But the stupid truth is that means everything becomes it's like everything. Okay, well, You get what I mean then. Well, then you know what I mean. Like, they kind of helped you. Well, they didn't have you on the same thing either? Where, like, you would just, like, English tests and all that shit that you could just say it to them? Me too. I'll be honest, I got tired of getting picked on. Like, by no means did I get picked on physically, you know the way Canadians are. It was just, kids can be harsh. I played hockey most of my life, so nobody really fucked with me physically, if you get what I mean. Whoa, somebody's mic is... You might want to unplug and replug your mic in, bro. It's glitching out like a motherfucker. There we go. Well, it's nice to know there's a fellow Canadian on this game. Yeah, I know, but that's people always used to tell... That's what he told me, exactly what you said. You know, he would literally say that, you know, like, how do you fail English? Like, how are you failing English considering how well you speak it? And I'm like... I don't fucking know. There you go. That's theory and... There you go. Now, if it wasn't for my dad, though, I probably wouldn't be able to read it all. And when I was in, like, they put me into special schools because of that shit. So I guess, like, you know how, like, when they do that, you're in those small little classes of, like, 10, and you get sent in, like, an actual car to school? So it was an hour-and-a-half drive. I had to go from Hawkesbury to Curran, Ontario, and of course, having ADHD, the bus driver, you know, honestly just got tired of being cramped in such a small space with a 10-year-old that talks that goddamn much. What? Yeah. Well, actually, I live in North Bay now, but I used to live in Oxford before. And I guess what was funny about it, though, was that... Oh, shit. It's where my dad's originally from. Like, my dad's from the Toronto area originally. It's just, what I found funny, though, was that she got so tired of, like, me talking so much that I was like, and I don't understand this, how this, you know, like, the whole thing of the bus ride is a privilege. So I used to get in shit for it to the point where, like, she said she wasn't going to drive me to school anymore unless my dad found a way to shut me up, because riding the bus is a privilege. He didn't want me to not have an education, so what he'd do to shut me up was he'd give me a book to read. He knew I wasn't the best at reading, but I like reading, if that makes sense. So it's like, honestly, I probably wouldn't know how to read if it wasn't for that. Like, I can read really well, I just don't spell very well. And that's why my English teacher in high school was wondering what was wrong. But I've always kind of laughed at that. It's like speed reading for me now. I can read as fast as the average person. Nothing special to it. It's not like I read faster. I just read really fast for people with dyslexia. I'm covering you guys right now. Just give me 2 seconds. You've got a X-Wing trying to break on your tail. He's right there. Guys, he's chasing one of them. You gotta kind of get on his ass so he's gonna kill one of us. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was you he was chasing or not, that's why. Okay, well I'm on him too now. I'll fire a missile. He just deployed his countermeasures. Okay, fire one. There you go. If 2 people are on him, I'll show you. Yeah, there you go. This is a trick that I use a lot. When both of us are on him, I'll fire my missile just to get him to deploy countermeasures. The moment you see my missile explode, fire yours. And then vice versa. If you've got the first lock, you shoot. You know, let me know you're shooting, and then I'll fire my next one. Okay, I'm locking now. Missile left. Keep pop. Oh, he got me though.
It shows your name, I saw it.
Just give me 2 seconds. I'm just taking a sip of my coffee really quick.
Stop their fighters before they advance.
Emoji heart, emoji heart, emoji heart.
Oh, did it switch? Okay. I'll grab my TIE Defender then. Okay, so I'm pretty much going to use the same trick, but even meaner now. Okay, so when we get on somebody's, like, tail, I'll fire my, like, multi-missile, like the cluster missile, just to get him to pop his countermeasures. And if he uses, like, a targeting, like one of the ones that fires out the Seekers, if you get what I mean, he can only actually destroy 3 of them. Okay, so there's a trick that I do, is I fire the... so I fire the cluster, and then I fire the concussion. Okay, so that way I know that the concussion is actually going to be the one that's guaranteed to hit with at least one of his clusters. But a lot of people don't know this. The cluster missile and the concussion does over 2,500 damage if they all hit. That's enough to insta-kill any ship. Well, any... Yeah, that works the same way too. But like when you're using a TIE Defender, because it has interceptor and fighter loadouts, you mixing the two. Don't get me wrong, if I use the same thing on the Interceptor, I use the Anti-Starfighter missile in the cluster. But I switch it up though, I fire the Anti-Starfighter, get him to pop his countermeasures and then hit him with the cluster missile. Because the concussion actually does more damage than the cluster missiles do. Well actually no, the clusters, if you hit him with all of them, beat it by 250 damage, but you see what I mean, I guess? It's weird to explain, it's just, you can knock out an A-Wing with one fucking concussion missile. One cluster missile, one concussion, that's all that has to get through. It's just more, it's 5 missiles coming at him. So you remember that trick that we just did? Where like I fired the missiles just to get him to pay attention to that and then you fired yours? Imagine 2 TIE Defenders. I've always wanted to do this, and I'm going to send you a friend request after, actually, if you want to squad up. But I've always wanted to try this, you know, like one person fires, like I fire it, he pops his countermeasures, and then you fire the same thing, and then he's got fucking, that'd be 7 missiles chasing his ass that he can't do anything about. And don't get me wrong, the fact that it's 3,000 damage, that's like, if you hit a Star Destroyer with all 5 missiles, you'll take 5% of its health away in one hit. So it's actually a lot of damage, even against capital ships and corvettes. Mike, here, I'll finish off Charlie, just to prove the point, I guess. And fuck you, capital ship! It's at 4%, but I got something chasing me. Oh shit. That even lit me the fuck up before I could even... The only thing I don't like about the TIE Defender, though, they break my shields. I'm pretty much...
Rebels have the advantage.
I don't know. Paper?
Ship is disabled. Here I come.
But what's your gamer tag, though? Just so I know who I'm sending the friend request to. Oh, frickin' nut. That's cool. Oh, you're on PlayStation too, so that makes it a bit easier. Cross-platform accepting the friend request can be tricky for people, but being on PlayStation, I'm pretty sure you know how that works. There you go. Just mark the targets and I'll engage them with you. There's a B-wing right there. Oh, that B-wing's gonna strip Alpha if we don't take it down, though. He's just sitting in front of it. I rammed him. I'm gonna try and... There we go. I tried to ram him to death before he got here, but... Shit, I'm at 13%. I need to dock it repair.
headed your way. Fire on my target. Acknowledged. Let Vanguard Squadron destroy our cruiser. It's time. Attack the enemy fleet. You're being followed. Target the rebel frigate's tank squadron. We're pushing into the enemy fleet.
He's on my ass. I got a missile on me. I got a break low. Yeah, he's trying to chase me.
The Empire's time has come. Annihilate their flagship and defeat the rebels. Attack that target. Titan, engage that target. Attack that target. Attack that target.
Here, we'll keep the morale up while the bombers go after the main point. All missiles up.
Get the missile.
He's on your tail, but I got him. Watch out.
Don't worry, it's me.
You try to break low. Oh crap, you already got taken out.
Rebel shields are down. Attack.
You and me, let's play.
Incoming missile.
Oh shit. Damn it, he hit me with a missile. Okay.
The enemy has the... Ready to fight. Not allow the rebels to destroy our cruisers. Push back.
I'm on the interceptor's ass now, but he's trying to break off.
Our fleet is in ruins. The rebels are attacking our Star Destroyer defensive positions. Fire on my target. Rebel locked on. Incoming missile. That was too close.
He's on my ass. I can only evade him for so much longer, though.
Corvette eliminated. Good work. Target down. On hit.
Yeah, I'm chasing him right now. Hey, buddy, how you doing? You want to play? Let's play. In here. Aw, damn it. That was my own mistake.
Heading to the battle. Titan, engage that target.
Come on, get a hit. Yes! He's disabled. Check him out. He's down. But somebody's on my ass, though. Yeah, him. You want to play? Okay. This interceptor build is actually more maneuverable than you.
Shields destroyed. Finish the enemy flanks. Rebel following me.
Fuck, I was trying to get its weak point on the power system, but I missed.
Joining the fight. You're out of bounds, pilot. You're too far from the fleet. Pull back.
Damn it. I guess they... No, they must have buffed it. You can't do that anymore.
Close call. They disabled the shields on our Star Destroyer. Moving to engage.
Just mark him and I'll chase him. We got a B-wing coming in.
Titan, engage that target. Shields restored. Here comes the missile.
Attack that target.
You're wasting time. Attack something else. They've lost their Titan foothold.
Okay, I'm hitting the weak points now. What the hell? Whoa. Those B-wings are in the rotary cannon. Yeah, you only hit me with a screen.
C-75 has been destroyed. Top job, pilots. Top job indeed.
There we go. So yeah, I sent you a friend request. I didn't do that good that match, but I'll do a lot better on the next one. Well, I guess I did pretty good. There were some pretty good points where I was like flying through the... That's what I like about that map, how you can go inside of that area where they're building the ships and everything. Reminds me of Return of the Jedi when they go inside of the Death Star. I'm much better in an X-Wing too, though. They're a lot easier to control. Oh, okay, you're there. I'll start the match now. Oh, but yeah, so that's what I was going to say, I guess. Actually, I should cancel this before, just in case. Okay, so there's a build that you can use if we're like going to be using the Battle Buddy system like that. Like, do you know what the Battle Buddy system is in Airfighter Combat? Oh, it's like, well, you know, most people don't know this about the Canadians, but you probably do, I guess. You know how, like, our military is extremely... Like, if anything, the stories are a bit watered down, if you get what I'm saying. People don't really know how good our military actually is, if that's the best way to put it, but we, the Canadians, I guess, the joke that a lot of people forget about is that, well, here's the simplest way to put it, okay? A lot of people thinking, like, when you're the little, here, actually, whoops, I was about to say it incorrectly, actually. Okay, when you're the youngest son of England and America's little brother, people thinking we don't know how to fight or go to war is pretty fucking ignorant. I don't care what anyone says. Like, you get what I'm saying, I guess? Like, and on top of that, we're a multicultural nation that understands the value of that every culture has at least one warrior society within it, if you get what I mean, that we can reflect upon. And people ask, what do I mean by this? Well, there's two. Like, I guess, here's a joke of it, I guess. Because of the fact we have both of these cultures and ours, it's so easy for a Canadian to reflect on this one. And I've met a lot of Americans that understand this really quickly, too. But two cultures that were halfway across the fucking world from each other. One was an island in the Pacific, the other one was an island in the Atlantic, actually kind of, in a way, birthed the same kind of culture. And people go, what do I mean? Well, there was a grain lord who owned land and grew grain. And he had retainers, ergo samurai or knights, that protected him. You see where I'm going with this, I guess? And these knights or samurai were honor bound to the people and also to the lord himself. They weren't just some bodyguard, they were also the protector. You hear what I'm saying? Which is kind of ironic, too, that we also have the Ranger, which was a warrior of the king. And then where people assume the shinobi and all that shit, like the ninjas, that ninja is an American term. Doesn't even belong in the Japanese language, to be honest. Because Japanese is so male and female orientated, like French, it's shinobi if you're a male, kanochi if you're a female. Ironically. But as an actual... like, tribe, they were actually called the Hattori. So I guess you could say a ninja's actual name is Hattori. But the Hattori clan, they kind of like, they were samurais who believed that in war, and they had seen this, especially when they fought the Koreans, that when it was time, well, you know that like samurai, they have that whole honor-bound book, right? Bushido? Yeah, that's until you go to war with them. And that's the big mistake everyone makes, is that to the Japanese, don't get me wrong, honor is a very important thing to them, especially in combat. But in war, they take honor, they throw it out the fucking window because, well, they don't really take honor, they more just take the rules and they throw it out the fucking window because the only honor in war is victory. You know, it's like, why would they resort to kamikaze attacks? Everyone looks down on them for using kamikaze attacks, but you do realize it's because of the effectiveness of the kamikaze attack and also the American military and allied military's inability to want to waste a soldier in that way that led to us creating the lock-on missile. Is a lock-on missile any different? Like, you know, let's think about it for a second. A lock-on torpedo or a lock-on missile ain't that different from a Kai-10 or a kamikaze. Other than the fact there's a human life at the end of it. So I kind of try to explain it to people, like, you know, respect the fact the Japanese were that ballsy. But don't get me wrong. If we look closely at this, the British, they had farm boys in those fucking planes, right? During the Battle of Britain. And some of those farm boys were Canadians. There were times where Canadian pilots, if they knew because honestly, a lot of them didn't even have enough flight hours to know how to land. If their plane was too damaged and they knew that landing was actually going to be a serious issue, they were told to just ditch their plane, hit their radio beacon, okay, and a boat will come and get them. You gotta wonder how many, well actually this is actual truth, you gotta wonder how many of them, when they knew their plane was fully loaded with fuel, decided to ram it into some German boat before they ditched. In fact, it happened all the fucking time, because, like, as a Canadian, it's like people judge the Taliban, you know, but I served for the Canadian military, and the only way I can explain it is, like, I didn't judge the Taliban when I was over there. I've never seen a single suicide bomber in my life that fought me, because a lot of people just don't understand the Palestinian situation. Like, they don't have lock-on missiles. They don't have any of that kind of equipment. And honestly, they're being genocided, so what they're doing at best is a political statement. It's martyrism. It's not suicide. If you know what I mean. And, like, and I'm an Allied soldier saying this. I'm not just some liberal, you know, like, dumb fuck. I'm just showing them the respect they deserve, if you get what I mean, as people. But I'll get to the build. I just forgot that, you know, like, I just realized like I went on a rant on Canadian history, and my lady's watching the stream too. Okay, so the irony of this, though, of what I was more saying, is that if I was ever going to be taken prisoner for a fucking second, do you think the Canadian military taught me, you know, to be taken prisoner? I mean, yes, we've been given integration training, which, like, teaches us how to fucking withstand torture and all that shit, and pretty much how to be a prisoner. But they also told us, you know, like, our first job is to escape. And if we know that death is on our door, take as many of them as you can with me. So I'll be honest, if I knew that my death was imminent, and I was, you know, like, I'm not getting off the battlefield anytime soon, I'm probably going to take the biggest vehicle I can find, load it up with the most fucking explosives, okay, I can carry, and ram it into the biggest military target I can reach. And call out over to Mike, you know, Allahu Akbar. Because people just don't understand that. You see what I'm saying, I guess? It's like, I'll do it to make sure that they don't reach Canada. If what they're doing is no different, then I guess they're just trying to protect their families. Like, I know that seems weird to say, but it's like I've been there and seen how a lot of these groups, don't get me wrong, what people seem to forget is the reason why we're not at war with Afghanistan, why it's been an extended military conflict, is because we're not at war with Afghanistan. How can you be at war with the country that's aiding you? Like, when people turn around and would ask me, so, like, what was it like to fight the Afghans? And I'm like, what do you mean? We fought the Taliban. They're not even Afghans. They invaded Afghanistan, and they literally, like, most of them don't even have Afghan citizenship. No, they're still people. They're still people. I'm not trying to say that shit. I'm just saying they're not, first off, recognized as citizens of Afghanistan at all by the nation of Afghanistan. They're labeled as rebels and terrorists. Okay, so what I'm more just trying to point out is that we're not at war with Afghanistan. The country of Afghanistan is our ally. The majority of Afghanistan is on our side, and they're not on our side because they love America or love Canada. No. They're on our side because they know that the Taliban, if they ever actually gain any real power in the country, we're their next targets. Like, they're it's hard to explain. Their grand plan is to annihilate the Western demon. That's pretty much saying they're going to destroy Western society. And that's why, you know, like I say, like, if I thought they were going to take me prisoner, I'd probably ram my vehicle into the biggest fucking target I can find. Because people like them, extremists like that, they'll kill every single fucking one of us, and they don't care about race or religion. They don't give a damn crap about color. They just care if you're a member of Western society. It's like, it opened, I guess people wonder why, you know, like, I'm such an activist towards equality in our countries now. Because seeing that kind of shit opened my eyes. Like, I came back here and saw how people fight over shit like race and religion and fucking culture and all that shit. Like the shit that I saw in America, and I'm not really, this isn't like a racial statement when I say this, it's more an acceptance and equality statement. But, like, when I heard people all arguing about this shit, saying white culture this, white culture that, I had to look at them and be like, you know, you do realize that even if your skin is black, you're a white person. Like what you said earlier, like, how do you fail English when you speak English? I'm like, you do realize, like, they're members of Western, like, it's all I want to tell them. Like, you're my brother, you're a member of Western society, you're from my culture, you're born into the same ideas and concepts that I am. Like, I'm going to judge you for the content of your fucking character, not the color of your skin. The color of your skin means fuck all, and as far as the content of your character goes, you act extremely Caucasian. And they're like, what do I mean? I'm like, well, you speak English, you wear jeans, you wear t-shirts, you got quite the fucking attitude, when it comes to your, when it comes to pride within your own people. I wonder who taught you that one. Like I said, it's like I would prefer as cultures that we all learn to share with each other than fucking shoot each other, but there are some groups out there that, like, this is actually what I'm more saying, is that the one thing I left the country with was a smile towards this. I do want to go back to the country when it's not at war anymore, honestly, just to go see if there was, because there's a lot of decent people that I met over there. And, like, they're trying to build a country that's like theirs, but as safe as ours. Does that make sense, I guess? Like, that's all they want. They just want a country that's like the way they want, but as safe as, like, the only thing people like about our countries is our like, I've learned this, and it's that we're safe and it's comfortable. Okay, like, America is not the greatest country in the world. Okay, it's not why people immigrate to it. Well, it's not even really that. Canada and America, we're not the greatest countries on the planet. I'm not going to say that for, no, we have our problems. But what we have in a fucked up way is I know what that is, though, but it's something really weird, because the truth is, I don't really go off of what I think. I mean, I've asked a lot of immigrants this, and I'll be honest with you, 80% of all, like, I ran a consensus once when I was in anthropology class, because I finished my high school later on, but I actually wanted to figure this out. Why do people like to come to Canada? Why do people really immigrate to Canada? And the answer I got 80% of the time was it was not what I expected, but it was very practical. I'll give them that. You have to admit to the practicality of this. We are not the greatest countries on the planet. The fact that we think this for a fucking second is kind of weird, because we have our problems. But the fact that we recognize our problems and try to change them is something they like. But what they really come here for is the fact that our immigration policies are extremely lax. It's easy to get a Canadian citizenship. It's easy to get an American citizenship. And that's what we forget as countries. That it's not that we're the greatest countries. It's actually we're a first world country with good healthcare, good resources, all the things you just said. Okay, and we also have the easiest immigration policy. Like, I see people complaining in America that you need to know the name of Britney Spears' album in 2001 to get your American citizenship. But it's not an actual test you take in school. You can have your smartphone with you, and there's a free Wi-Fi you can access, and you can type it into Google. They just want you to know the answer to the question. Why? Because, let's be honest, she is a part of American pop culture. Even if she is Britney fucking Spears, like, I'm allowed to laugh at that. You gotta know the name of her album. Like, I remember it because that was in my generation. Baby Hit Me One More Time. Like, fuck, I got a weird memory for shit like that. It's the first song she ever released. That's the name of the album. I'm just taking a bong it, and then I'll finish what I'm saying, teach you that build, and then we'll go into a match. Basically, though, the irony of it all is that they come to our countries because of the fact that it's easy to get into them. You only have to know shit like that. Now, I've also asked them the return question, because this was the answer, and I kept the names of all of the people I did it with, and all the correspondence. I had to ask them a second question. What's the immigration policy in your home country, then? And the answers I got astounded me. I was like, no shit, no wonder. Like, that's pretty practical. I get why they want to move to our countries now. And also why Canadians and Americans don't really leave. Okay, so my one friend is from Trinidad. Do you know what it takes to gain a Trinidadian citizenship? 15 years of naturalization. So you have to live there for 15 years, pay taxes to the government for 15 years because too many people go there just for 5 or 6 years, take a fucking vacation, like a 5-year vacation, and then go home. You have to prove to them you're actually staying and you're going to commit to the country and put the resources into it. Okay, so we talk about immigrants coming here, putting money into the country, and then sending it back to their families, and then just leaving with whatever they saved, right? How does that actually help our economy? But we forget that we're actually a country, and based in consumerism, so it does help our economy. And that's the whole fucking, and it's not, they're not abusing any systems. It literally says in our governmental immigration policies that they're allowed to do that. Yet another reason why they like to immigrate to our country, because you can't do that in Trinidad. He said, I can move here and I can send money back to my family. If you move to Trinidad and try to send back to your family in Canada, they will tax you even more for it for the first 15 years until you get your citizenship. Just because of the tourism factor, how people like to abuse that. And I'm like, well, so the only difference between our two countries is that we know it gets abused, but it still makes us money? Holy fuck. But I'll finish it with this, though. So all these different countries I found out have extremely harsh citizenship gains. Like, did you know that only about 10%. I have a buddy of mine, he's from Qatar. It's a small little country in the Middle East. Okay, they have the same citizenship qualities as ancient Rome. They haven't changed it in 1,000 years. Okay, so you have to prove your Muslim lineage back for 3 generations to get your citizenship. Only 15% of the people born in Qatar actually have citizenship to Qatar. And that's why so many people from Qatar move to America or Canada, because they don't even have a citizenship in their own fucking country. But they can move here, spend a year. Like, and if you don't have citizenship in a country, you're pretty much like, do you know why terrorists can be thrown in Guantanamo Bay? Once the nation of Afghanistan stripped them of their citizenship and did not recognize them as citizens, the Geneva Accord of Human Rights doesn't apply to people unless they're a citizen of a nation. Now, that's pretty fucked. I don't agree with that. I've never harmed a... I still saw a human in front of me regardless. You see what I'm saying? But the truth is, I could have done whatever I wanted to them. There's no law that says that I have to give him human rights. That's why you've heard of all that shit that goes on over there, but it's like, and why it never gets stopped? Well, it's because of a fucking legal loophole, and it's a sick one. It's a sick one. I think just being born on the planet Earth should give you something. Yeah, and that's what happens in Qatar. Yeah, but that's what my friend in Qatar told me, though, is how do you think the government treats most, like I said, 12%? That sounds like only the rich have citizenship. The sultans, the power structure. So why do so many people from Qatar move to our country? Because they don't even have citizenship in their own country. And if they don't have citizenship, their country can treat them like slaves. That's what's really going on, bro, in the world. Nobody really realizes. And that's what I had to answer, that, you know, like, so pretty much we're the culture that's killing slavery, not promoting it. Because in Qatar, they're slaves the moment they're born, because they don't have a citizenship, and the world doesn't recognize them as people unless they have a citizenship. Yeah, but I'd rather believe I'm free than know I'm a fucking slave. I know. You gotta remember, I did 2 tours in combat. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Who does? I'm just a positive thinker. So, you know, like, I'm just a positive thinker. I'd like to think that to a certain degree we have good people in the government, even if their situation... All human institutions are corrupted, but there has to be at least one motherfucker that joined just because of that. Do you know why? You know what? I'm gonna tell you something right now. Do you know why I joined Special Liaison Services in the Canadians? Yeah, you're right. It's the mob. You're right. Oh, I get it. You know what's the first rule they taught us in security liaison work was? Why I said I know what you're talking about. Okay, so this is a manipulation trick. One person is very smart. A mob can be manipulated very quickly into any group, no matter how many smart individuals there are in it. So basically, I can get you to believe a lie either because you fear it to be true or want it to be true if you're in a group of others that I can spread the lie among. But if you're by yourself... Yeah, but if you're by yourself in a room and I try to spread that lie to you, no, you will come to the conclusion of truth all by yourself because you will be forced to. So I'll give you an example, okay? I put 50 people in a fucking room, and I tell them there's aliens on the other side. They're not going to believe it, and eventually they're just going to start making fucking some idea in their head that one guy in the room is actually the one who's trapped them in there, and they're going to kill him. And the mob is going to go through that process until they kill everyone. Okay, and then there's only one left, and all of a sudden the aliens are going to come in all, what the fuck, buddy? And he's going to look at the alien and be like, oh shit, you're real. First rule of interrogation. You see the shit that I'm talking about? Put them all in a room, and then eventually guess what they'll start thinking if there's an alien on the other side. An unknown factor. You get your answers real quick just by watching what they do to each other. Like, what I'm trying to explain to you, bro, is I joined security liaison work because I heard about shit like this going on in the Canadian military. And I decided that I was going to be the one who didn't. I'd bring some ethics to the situation. Some fucking morals. I'd change it from within the institution, not from without. You know, I can smash the fucking doors all I want. I can kick at the door and knock all I fucking want at the places of institutions, whatever the fuck we want to call them. But if I can actually get in there and eventually become the leader, And now I have some fucking real power to change it. I'm not just saying I'm going to change it, I'm actually going to fucking change it. Like, you know what? People judge Trudeau. We used to get put, you know, like, it's like I hear this shit in American, like every American I know rips on Trudeau. But I hear them complaining about their politicians so much today that all they want to say is this. And no offense, Evelyn, I know that you're not like that. I mean, we never even talked about this. As I told you, my girlfriend's watching this stream and she's American, so I don't want to think I'm talking about her. She's not like that. But all this shit that I've seen, oh, I guess she left this. Yeah, she left the stream right here. But all this shit that I've seen, though, is kind of like, I'm trying to get it explained, I guess. They're always talking about how you should vote for a political leader because he's going to do something in your life lately. You know, they say, like, what has, you know, like, I saw them going around, you know, with Biden being elected, asking a bunch of black people, it was like this video, okay, what have the politicians actually changed in your life lately as an individual? All these democratic fucking promises in the U.S., but what has it actually changed for your life? And they all say nothing. That's what we're getting tired of. You know, you want to see white fucking, dude, you want to see white privilege at its finest? And I swear to God, if people don't accept this, and I'm white saying this, okay, you want to see the biggest proof of white privilege? If a bunch of black people would have fucking tried to go after, like, the White House, do you think they would have just been let in so peacefully? Okay, but but the truth is, the only reason the cops did it, yeah, but that's weird, though, because the truth is, though, and I'll be honest with you, because as a Canadian who did security work, I have connections. I looked into it, so I was like, why didn't the cops stop it? They didn't want to make any fucking martyrs. They know that's the easiest way for a bunch of white supremacists to fucking start bullshit. Yes, because Trump didn't want any martyrs. Yep, and that's what's... So you see, Trump actually handled it correctly. You hear where I'm going with this? I don't care what anyone says, because what a lot of people don't understand politically about the situation is that he should have done that. I know political sciences. Okay, first off, the reason why he told him to let them walk in, and he probably knows this better than... We're white. I'm guessing you're white, right? By chance? Okay, well, you know the truth of our people. If even one of us gets shot, the rest of us will make him a martyr. No matter what it's over. And just think of how many white supremacist, racist motherfuckers are just waiting for one of those guys to be shot by a cop to now say, see, look, we get shot by cops too. Oh, everyone riots for George Floyd. Okay, and it's politically... Okay, well, I don't agree with what I'm saying here. Just wait till the end, you'll see how much I don't agree with what I'm saying here. Okay, but I do understand... Yeah, but I do understand what the fuck they're coming from. They're still people, and they're going to react certain ways. And even a racist motherfucker is a human being at the end of the day. And he's just a person whose perception needs to be changed. Doesn't need to be... He doesn't need to be destroyed. His perception does. Because it's still a human life. It's savable. Racism's easy to eradicate. You just don't realize this. Put him into one situation where he's been prejudiced upon. Just watch the movie Red Tails. That fucking bomber pilot learned real quick to trust those black people. He saved their fucking life. Okay, so all I'm more trying to explain in this is you're right. Now, all it would have taken was one of them to get hit, and then they would complain that what happened. You know, they were all rioting over George Floyd, and the public accepted it, and it was all okay. But now, the moment we do something, what they don't realize is that the public did not accept it, and the majority. Yeah, but hold on, no, I'm more meant. No, you're gonna laugh at this. Hold on. No, but I mean, like, what I'm trying to tell you is that I know little things that actually went on in the Trump administration, and I guess, and I'm trying to tell you what happened, I guess. Sorry, my bad. You're very knowledgeable, I can tell you that. You know a lot of things, because you even knew that part that Trump let that go. So I was just trying to tell you there's a little bit more to it than that, actually. He knew the way white supremacism really is in the U.S. and how volatile it can be. Okay, if you look into American history, this isn't the first time a white group tried to take a fucking building. The only truth is, I'd have to look it up, but a Harvard law guy talked about this to see if there was any historical relevance in American law or American history to this shit. And he found over 6 of them. He said the only thing at the end of the day is that whatever they did and whatever they were attempting to do, they weren't actually really pulling a serious revolution. It's not like they were actually going to take power of the government and impose a new leadership. It was really at best just a political statement or embargo, whatever the fuck it is. And it wasn't in any way a revolution or an insurrection, whatever people are calling it. It was at best a riot at the White House. Okay, he says, you want to see, and then they brought up 1814 when and I saw this meme a few days ago, and this is kind of relevant, Canadians watching Americans and what they did to the White House on January 6th without burning it down. You're really sucking ass there. Just the irony of it. I mean, if they were really trying to destroy the building, or they were really trying to take power, or really trying to do anything, like, we lit that motherfucker up just to create peace with America. You see where I'm going with this? There you go. So I'm wondering if the reason why Trump allowed it. Yes, but this is what's funny though. Everyone keeps blaming Trump for this. But what I think he's really been doing for the last 4 years is exposing it. I think I've found so many examples where this guy is not the fucking leader people think he is. Okay, I'll give you one example, and if this doesn't make you want to look into, if this doesn't make you view him a little bit differently and think that maybe he's pulling, it's hard to explain, I guess. Well, here, I'll tell you what I know about him, this one little fact, take it as, and you make your decision on him after that, because basically what I was trying to explain, and I'll finish this part, I guess, is that politicians should do something in your life that actually affects your daily life. Everyone thinks I'm a liptard because I voted for Trudeau, and I'm like, no, I voted for him because he's going to legalize weed, and he did. I don't got to go to jail anymore over it, so what did he change in my life lately? Holy fuck, a lot! That's what a politician is supposed to do, irregardless of my feelings towards him. I should vote for him because of his policies, period. Biden's policies are shit. Trump may be this Twitter this twit-tard motherfucker or whatever he is, but his political policies and his financial structure is pretty sound. I mean, he's learned to understand that the American government really ain't that different from fucking a corporation. It's very incorporated, and that's why he is actually the leader they need right now. Okay, but how do I know that he's going to step down and pass control to Biden? This is all just, he's using his last 6 months to expose everything. He thought he had another 4 years to expose this shit. Motherfucker actually thought he was going to get elected. That's why he got so pissed off. And the one thing I'm going to ask you real quick is that it was a Toronto company that was in control of counting American votes. A company that the Canadian government will not use. Think about that. That's all I want to tell you, bro, is that, like the company that was involved in counting, and considering our fucking very volatile liberal, but this is the issue people don't realize. But this is what I agreed on, this is what I thought whenever I heard this. Considering the political situation in our country and how liberal, we are, and also how we think that we could save America, you ever seen that stupid opinion some Canadians have? I could see that company change, actually, I couldn't see an American doing it, but I could see a Canadian being that bold. Behind closed doors, we're not the people everyone thinks we are. Am I right, or am I wrong? I could see us changing the vote. And that's the real truth. The moment I found out that company, the Canadian government won't even use because they don't trust it. I know the Canadian government is smarter than the Americans. I'll tell you that one right now. But I'm just taking one last bong hit. I'll finish this statement off, and then we'll go back to the game. Okay, so basically, no, I know. It's kind of trippy. Yeah, but this, before you go though, there's something though I did want to tell you though about Trump himself though. Oh, okay. So, this is something that's kind of going to trip you out, though. So, do you remember how the Iranians shot down, the drone, right? About a year ago? Okay, so I'll tell you the story. So, about a year ago, this is the timeline. Did you hear about how an Iranian general got taken out by a strategic missile shot by Trump and all that shit? Okay, see, Canadians just don't really hear about this. Okay, so this is something that I should tell you about Trump. Okay, so about a year ago, the Iranians shot down, and this involves Canada, I'll be honest. So the Iranians shot down fucking, what's it called? A recon drone. A Predator drone that was flying around their airspace. Now the truth is, destroying that is actually an act of war. It's a piece of American military property. No, it wasn't over restricted airspace. It's just the Iranian government knew that the type of optical equipment that was on it, it could be looking at the state capitol building, even outside of that airspace. No, it was shot down over international waters. It's just, the truth was, it was in international waters, but it was literally flying over, it was just basically flying on the Iranian border back and forth. It was doing recon on the Iranians. Okay, and they shot it down. Okay, now because of that, that was an official act of war, and therefore deemed the Americans are allowed to retaliate in any way they deem necessary. Okay. So a retaliatory strike was planned. Yes, but a retaliatory strike was planned, though, and the Pentagon had it all set up and ready to go. This is actually the big reason why General Madsen even worked for Trump's administration, why he became the Secretary of Defense. Okay, basically, when I was over there in 2004 and 2005, he was our commander. So, like, I know he had U.S. Marine generals in command of all Allied forces, basically. It was a brigadier general that commanded us and the Canadians, and he still answered to Madsen in the end. And what I'm more trying to explain to you is that his nickname is Mad Dog Madsen for a reason. Because of the reason, not because he's crazy, or that he was batshit ballsy in battle. No, it's that he drank a form of whiskey called Mad Dog whiskey, and he would always go around after a battle to any men under his service and drink a shot with them at least. Which is very unheard of in upper echelon, you get what I mean? Like the officers going and drinking with the grunts. But he's a guy who worked his way up from the grunts to the upper echelon. Like, he was a grunt in Vietnam. Plain and simple. So he just never forgot that, and he made a point to keep the morale up in that way. Like, honestly, any battle I ever fought that he was the commander of, he even went and he even drank with my unit. He makes it a point to go and visit everyone. So, just to give you a point of who Trump picked to be a Secretary of Defense, who was going to be the political leader of all of America's national defense. I think that's a good pick. I don't care what anyone says. And he comes to him, and this retaliatory strike is planned. Okay, the Pentagon has it all ready to go. Okay, Trump thinks it's a good idea, and then asks the general, what do you think the estimated civilian casualties, the collateral damage is going to be, though, in the end? And he said, honestly, if we hit the factories where they launched this missile from, we're going to kill at least 150 workers. But they chose to work there, they chose to act upon this, so they are considered civilians, but they're still military targets under the Geneva Convention. Because they're aiding and abetting the military, you see what I mean? And he chose to call off the attack. Yeah, he called off the attack for that. He said that 150 innocent lives? No, we're calling it off right now. And they asked him why. It's legal. And the reason why the administration was so stunned at this was because they were just used to the guy turning around pushing the button. That's what Obama did. Obama was a fucking killer of women and children, man. Please do not talk about him. I served under the Bush administration. He had a lot more intelligence than people gave him credit for. Trust me. Obama was a fucking murderer. Even Bush was nicer than him. You know, I've always cracked this joke. If Obama was anything, he was gangster as fuck. He had the whole world fooled. Trust me, that guy was G'd up. He knew how to handle his business. And that's what he did. Terminate. He didn't give the capture order on Bin Laden. He gave the termination order. That tells you what kind of man he was. Oh, motherfucker wants to slam a plane into my building? Terminate, motherfucker. Yeah, but I'm just trying to explain to you, he wasn't the nice person everyone thinks he can. And yes, we can. That was really just an attempt to get white people to band behind him. The white folk got him into power. What the fuck did he actually do for black people last time I checked? We voted that man in so he would go do something for black people. Like, no offense, the whole yes we can in America, every white person knew he could. The only person who can't is black people. And everyone asks, how is this so prevalent? Well, fuck, look what happened if black people tried to storm the White House. Huh. You know, in California, the example in history that I was going to show you was in 1970, they stormed, the California State House, the Black Panthers. And brandished weapons, but it was their right under California law. The California state changed that law a week later. That's why they're so gun avoiding now. Because of a time when black people brandished their rights. So think, before people think they're such a liberal state, they should notice that the only reason they have such lax gun laws was to make sure all the black people were unarmed. They're the majority of the gun owners in the state. It's weird. Now only black people with no criminal record are allowed to own a gun. Isn't that a little bit weird? But they're getting charged left, right, and center for like grams of weed. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's what people don't realize. There's a system there that we don't understand as Canadians because it doesn't fucking happen here. You live in Toronto. You're a white Jamaican. When's the last time you saw cops treat black people like that in Canada? Okay, they'll only treat you like that if you're black and you're actually a known criminal. Like, you get what I'm saying now? You have to be a fucking criminal, because I've seen if they know you're white and you're from a certain area, they're gonna treat you the same. Am I wrong? Well, are you still there by chance? No, you still there? Okay, well, I'll set up the build and then let me know when you're back. I've never actually tried this. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. There you are. Hello? Okay, you're back now. Okay, so I guess I'll just simplify it down with this, is that the truth that's going on that nobody wants to notice, and I'll say the whole thing. And then maybe this will get you to, I guess, because it'll take so long to explain this, I'm just going to tell you the story about what happened, this timeline with Iran and how he dealt with it. And then you might think differently about it after this, because everything I'm telling you is actual truth. So he decided to call off the attack, right? And do some research into this to find out who actually was causing all of these issues with America to begin with. And then, all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, after the drone is shot down, you should look this up. Are you still there, Nut? By chance? Okay. A plane with 56 Canadians was shot down. Innocent civilian plane was shot down by the Iranian government because they accidentally thought it was a drone. That's the official release from the Iranian government, and Trudeau released it until we can prove that it was anything other than an accident, because it seems as it was. We're not going to retaliate. Okay, but then we found out that the Iranian general who had ordered the attack on, like, no joke, the Iranian government at this point, because they started wondering what was going on. Okay, before you think that this is the truth people don't realize about these countries, is that they do have corruption and extremists within them, but the sad truth is that the governments themselves, because they're in a more stressful situation, actually have better people in their fucking governments than us. People who actually give a shit about what's going to happen to their fucking people at the end of the day. Like, you know what I mean? You don't become politicians that get shot in the fucking head by insurrectionists. You don't become a politician unless you really want to care about your people. You know what I mean? And that's what this Iranian was. This general, so the government did some research into this and found out the only reason a drone was shot down and the plane was shot down was he lied to the government. He told them it was an accidental attack. He knew the attack had the Canadians on it. Okay, what he was trying to do was push a war, okay, with fucking America and Canada, so that way he could take political power and become the dictatorial leader of Iran, and he was going to literally do a military coup. He had it all planned out and everything, and that's how the Iranian government found out about it. So basically what he was doing, he was just trying to push us into attacking them so that way he could take control of the country. Like, people think it's over fucking religion. No, it's over money and power. It's all over there. The governments actually do give a shit at the end of the day, because the Iranian government handed them to Trump on a fucking silver platter. He told him, this is the problem. This is the guy who shot down your drone, and this is the guy who killed the innocent Canadians. We didn't know what was going on, and the only reason you know what's going on is because we found out. So we'd like you to, you know, deal with, you can do whatever you want to him, just leave us alone. Trump's response was to send a Hellcat strategic surgical strike after the man. Small little missile. Okay, it's very accurate. It's only about the size of, like, let's say, got like like a butane can? Like a big one you can buy from a pot store so you can make butane oil? It's about the size of that. Okay, but it's launched from a gigantic missile. So this missile comes out of a fucking... Basically, this big-ass missile is launched from a sub. It goes up and then it finds its target and lines up to him, and then it launches that missile out. Okay, this small little arrow, and it goes right in front of his face and goes kaboom with a tiny little charge. And kills him and only him, no matter how many people are around him. Airburst. So there's not actually an explosion, it's just the blast wave sent out from the missile is so powerful that anything within 2 meters of its explosion, it just gets liquefied. So it'll basically pop his head off like a goddamn grape. You get what I'm saying? Like, so, I saw the video of this, I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought it was hilarious as fuck. He was walking down an airstrip, planning his coup with 2 other generals as the fucking missile took his skull off. And all I can say as I'm watching that video is, good job, Trump. After that, I started thinking differently about the man. I was like, shit, really? So he actually gives a shit about American lives at the end of the day, because a war with Iran would have costed them what? Taking the Iranian deal and killing the motherfucker who was a threat to our country. The guy killed 56 Canadians. He's the reason 56 of our people are dead. I'm happy Trump killed only the man responsible. I told you, I joined my group to make sure that only the men responsible were paying for this. The sad truth is that a lot of those guys over there, they're just farmers. They're just people who had a gun put to their head. But because they serve for these people, the government now labels them a fucking terrorist. They don't have citizenship. And guess what? Some of these guys that are out there, they don't have the tolerance that I have. They don't have the self-control that I have. Like, this motherfucker just shot his best friend that he's known for the last 3 months that he trained with. For the last 4 years in basic training. Like, you see what I'm saying? So you think he's nice to him? No, he doesn't bother to find out if the guy's a farm boy before he blows his fucking head off. People say, oh, you know, the government say this. We make sure, you know, everyone hears this in the Canadian government and all that shit that's told to the people. We make sure that there are human rights, and, you know, like JTF, if you go on it, which is our special forces, it says that they follow all the laws, no matter what. They don't break a single international law at all in any of their top secret engagements. But the truth is, their shit is so top secret that the Canadian people are just going to have to trust the fact that they don't break the law. I was in the Canadian Special Operations Regiment, and I can tell you right now, we don't. I can't tell you very much about my service in Kandahar, but I can tell you that we don't break any international laws. We don't violate the Geneva Accord for a second. But after I tell you the simple truth that none of these guys, those laws don't apply to them. Now you know why it's also top secret. But these guys are... The truth is, there are a lot of people in that group that are like me. It's the only reason you join a group like that. Because you actually want to protect Afghanistan. You know what you can't even get into that group until you've done at least one tour in the country. Okay, and the only way I can explain is like this. My first tour, I thought I was fighting for Canada. My second tour, I returned realizing this whole war is to make sure that Afghanistan at the end of the day is a free, economically powerful nation that we can trade with and gain an ally from. Plain and simple. We don't want to be fucking enemies forever. And you can't make friends with your friends. You can only make friends with your enemies. So it's like, well, what I was doing was for the greater good of the people of Afghanistan. Because whatever we do for the greater good of Afghanistan, in the end, serves Canada. I don't care what anyone says. However quicker we end that fucking war, the quicker we come home. So that's why they won't even let you in the group until you've done at least one tour in the country, because you have to realize that the shit you're about to do to these people, to the Taliban, has nothing to do with them. You're doing it to them to make sure that they can't do the shit that they've been doing for the last 70 fucking years to these people anymore. Like, what people don't understand is this. Okay, how do you think they treat a person who is allied to us? Because that's what I try to explain to people when they say, you didn't fight. Like, so what was it like fighting the Afghans? And I'm like, what do you mean? I fought beside the Afghans. We fought the Taliban. Like, my allies were Afghan soldiers. Thank you very much. I've trained Afghan soldiers. Now, you see what I'm saying, I guess? Is that after a while you realize that Afghanistan is not the enemy, the Taliban are. Yeah, but the irony is that the truth is, though, not all of them are really that racist, though. That's what I'm trying to explain to you, is that if you saw the shit they saw, you'd get pretty... No, I'm trying to tell you this, okay? So, a British soldier talked with a... This is best to explain to you. Look up this video, and I'll end it with this so we can get back to the game, because I don't want to spend hours. It's hard to explain. It's not that I'm trying to branch off for that reason, it's more we've already talked for like an hour and a half, and I'm pretty sure you want to play at some point. But basically, this is shit you should research into, because I know you're of like mind. There was a British soldier from World War II and a British soldier from the current Taliban engagements. They were sitting down talking with each other. And you should hear what this guy has to say about how he viewed the Germans. Okay, and how it didn't leave him for over 20 years until all of a sudden one day he just realized they're just people like us. They were just fighting for whatever fuck they believed in. But the reality is he looked at that British soldier after he saw what now, you think the guy in World War II would have faced worse shit. But after they both sat down and talked with each other, the older guy looked at him and said, I can see that, that war's behind me, but you're still there. But you can't leave, because I can look at the Germans and realize that I was told to move forward. Okay, we knew what the enemy was, and we knew who they were. We were told to just move forward. Towards Germany. Towards victory. Okay, they had a known uniform. They had known, like, signatures. They were an official military. You guys, you fought people. Okay, the military was on your side. This official group, it sounds like the Germans were on your side. From the way that, from the way he was making it sound, that's what the old guy took. It's like, it sounds like you were fighting with the people against a bunch of innocent civilians who were all caught up in the stupidity of a terrorist group. And all the British soldier could tell the old guy was, you're one of the only people I've met in 15 fucking years that properly understands it. Yes, that's why it's so crippling. That's why it's so hard for us to leave, because they weren't in uniform. They were in clothes, like us. Like, but you don't realize that creates a state of alertness, that you can't leave. Like, why cops get PTSD so badly is because they could be walking down the fucking street, and their enemy, the criminal, he looks like everyone else. Terrorist looks like everyone else too. You see where I'm going with this? Because he's just a fucking international criminal. All I fought was an international war against crime. And I try to explain to people when they ask me about my service, I'm like, we were more like fucking cops than we were soldiers. We were more policing the situation at best. And people are like, what do you mean? Well, the village I was in, I wasn't at war with. It's the people who were raiding the village and killing the fucking innocent women and children who wouldn't fucking side with them. Like, no offense, I remember... I'll end it with this, and this will give you context. There was one time where there was only 15 of us, 150 Taliban soldiers that moved into the village. We were waiting for cover, I guess. Like, we were waiting for, like, long story short, we called in for reinforcements, and the closest known unit, and I have a friend of mine who plays PlayStation. I can invite him in when he's on next time, because I play this game every time. I'm sure I'll see you again. This is why him and me are still friends. Because we remember what happened that day. And like anybody who was there, we all promised after to keep in touch. Just because of, like, remember I told you there's certain people in that country I'm going back to visit just to make sure they're all okay? Okay, I got an American friend who I'll bring in here, who probably does that whole Haji this, Haji that, and sounds like the most racist motherfucker you've ever met. But he agreed to this pact to go back and visit them too. Just like every other soldier in the group. These are Afghan soldiers we served with, pretty much. That... like, we all made this pact, American, Canadian, and Afghans, that when the war was over, we were all going to go to a bar together and actually get drunk as fucking people, not warriors, And the fucked up truth is that there was 15 Canadians protecting this village. They came in with 150. Okay, there was a unit of 40 Afghan soldiers that were about, I'd say, 20 minutes away, and there was an American Marine unit of 350, well, an American Marine regiment of 350. Okay, that was 4 minutes away. So long story short, we can't do anything for 5 minutes. Other than watch. Because what the fucking 15 soldiers do to 150? You count those 15 up with fucking 40 and 350 and situation changes. What they had against you is now what you got against them. They're 150 versus over 400. The truth is, this is the context I'm trying to give you, I guess. I had to sit there and watch After, like, I spent the whole reason we were there, the whole reason we were protecting the village. I'm an anthropologist, in essence. That's what I took in college when I joined the military. Do you know what ROTC is? Okay, so all Special Forces soldiers have to have at least one ROTC. The whole purpose behind this, I know this might seem fucked up, is that if Canadian society gets attacked tomorrow and we get invaded and conquered, we're going to have to push them out of the country. And in pushing them out of the country, the majority of our civilization will fall in the process. Who's most likely to survive that if not Special Forces? Soldiers. That's why they're all doctors. That's why they're all philosophers. That's why all that kind of shit, because we're not natural-born survivors. We're trained survivors. You see what I'm saying? And we're trained to survive almost anything and then rebuild society after. That's really the reason why why Navy SEALs, they all have a college degree. Yeah, but you ever notice that? Every Navy SEALs has a college degree. That's why. Every Special Forces, no matter what country. We're like the last line of defense for our civilization's evolution. You just hit it. Mankind falls tomorrow, at least we don't. At least we're the only way it's all going is if we go. But I think it's kind of smart that governments did this. That way shit like Alexandria doesn't happen again. But, long story short, to give you context, I remember teaching these kids, because anthropology is the basis, okay, of becoming part of the culture by learning about the culture and becoming a member of the culture. Okay, now when you're doing counterterrorism work against a group that really kind of honors their tradition and culture like a motherfucker, and you don't know very much about their tactics other than that, if you can start to think like them, you see where anthropology might not actually be a bad trait for a Special Forces soldier over there? Okay, but I preferred to use it in this village for the good thing. Like, long story short, there were a lot of kids in the village that I had taught in English to. Okay, and the purpose of this is because this is how you learn a language quickly, from children. Okay, because children are just learning their own language, okay, so they can teach me their language very easily. It's like I ask them, what's this? And they tell me table. Or they tell me the word in their language, and I go, oh, that's a table in my language. And the kid's like, table. And I'm like, agadies. You see what I mean? So I learned that word, okay, they learned my word, and eventually, you ever notice how missionaries and all that shit, okay, the story of the Native Americans here in Canada is that if a colonist ever met a native who could speak English really well, they would get amazed and they'd be like, we had missionaries close to the tribe. When have you ever heard of the residential schools happening by the Anglicans by chance? Like, have you ever heard of a Protestant residential school in all of Canada? No, because it happened by the fucking Catholics. If people would look at history, they'd realize the Protestants were educating the natives in English and science and all that kind of shit as missionaries for like 200 years without ever disrupting their society. That's why so many natives would show up out of the bush, acting native, looking native, being native, but he'd surprise every white boy around him how well he could speak English. And the only response he'd give him was, as a missionary visited my people. Anthropology was actually started by the first Protestant missionaries. That's the irony of it. Yeah, I'm just gonna finish this and I'll tell you about the build. I'll just end it with this simply. My bad. So, because of the Quran, and I understand the traditions and Sharia law, women are not allowed to be educated past the age of 8. Okay, now there were 4 mothers who, honestly, I don't do this because of the way they are. I don't teach the females past the age of 8 unless their mothers and their fathers approve. You get what I'm saying by this? I don't want to watch the kid get beat because I'm teaching them English. Okay, and there were 4 families that actually did approve of this, and that's how I was learning the language. The only reason the Taliban came to this village was because they found out that the Canadian soldiers were there giving them food, water, educating them, hospital, like all that stuff. And on top of that, there was 4 families that were being educated, their daughters were being educated past the age of 8. So I've always felt a little bit responsible, I guess, but I know I'm not. They're pieces of shit for what they did. They took all 4 of the mothers, dragged them out, while me and my men had to fucking watch them, blew their fucking heads off in front of their husbands and their children, and told them, if you ever teach your daughters past the age of 8 again, we'll kill you and all of your daughters. So we had to sit there while 4 women were fucking executed by these pieces of shit right in front of their children, just because of the fact that they let me educate their daughters. They let me educate their 14-year-old daughter in English and math. You see what I'm saying now? When soldiers come back and they're all like, fuck this, those guys are crazy. I don't care if every single fucking one of them gets wiped off the planet. What a lot of people forget to ask them is, but how do you feel about the Afghan people? Because the truth is, I'm gonna tell you this straight up. If I saw all the Taliban wiped off the fucking planet tomorrow, I will say good fucking riddance to those cocksucking pieces of shit. I fucking hate them. I hate every single fucking one of them. Do I hate the Afghan people? Fuck no. I fucking hate the Taliban because of the shit I watched them do to the Afghan people. That's why I signed up for the Canadian Special... After that day, that's when I signed up for the Canadian Special Operations Regiment and decided to actually do some fucking damage to these assholes. Take them out where they're leaders. Like, I wanted to hit them where it fucking hurt after watching what they did. And if I'm just an average grunt, no. I go counter-terrorism, they're gonna send me after the fucking guys who are causing this shit. I wanted the fucking leader. I wanted the fucking guy who I watched do that. What I can be very proud to tell you is that, you know what? They did what they did and they left. And they did it all in under 1 minute and 30 seconds. So that 5-minute return that I was telling you about, they didn't get there in time. They just executed the fucking women and left. They don't stay very long for that kind of shit. But what they didn't know is that me and my men were there. We tracked them back to wherever they were. Those Americans, those Afghans, they showed up and we had a battle plan. When they looked at it, and that's what I'm going to tell you about Canadian soldiers. The Americans and the Afghans are looking at us like that's a bit extreme. You're pretty much saying we're about to go in there and kill every single fucking one of them. And then we told them what they did in the village. When they did those innocent fucking women for nothing more than just that. And we all made a pact that day. Afghan soldier, American soldier, Canadian soldier, that we would go back and make sure that that village was still there after the war. Because then if we don't, then there's no reason that... Do you think we hesitated when we went into that valley that night? Not a single fucking one of us. We knew that they weren't going to hesitate. They weren't going to stop. They would take every single one of these women and they won't stop. And they won't stop until they reach our fucking countries and force us to live the same way as them. And what I'm more trying to explain to you is that I didn't force this shit on these children. I never watched an American... We don't force this shit on them. The truth is, the actual people that are on our side, the people who like us, the allies in Afghanistan, they love it. And they want to learn it. And, like, if they want to learn it, like, fuck, imitation is the ultimate form of flattery. Of course I'm going to teach them. Like, do you get it now, I guess? Not? Are you still there, by chance? Damn it, never mind. I'll just set up my build, wait for you to come back, and then I'll explain to you how it works. Are you still awake? Because I was about to go into another match. Oh. Are you there? Oh, not. Are you there? Yeah, if you're gonna, like, put the headset down, make sure to let me know, though, because I'll keep talking like that, and you have no idea how embarrassed I am when I find out the person's not even... Now you know I kept asking, but I guess I'll just finish it in one sentence, because I don't know if you heard all of it, and then I'll tell you about the build I'm setting up. Long story short, the pact between us was to go back and make sure that village was still standing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying this one sentence, and then I'll teach you the build, and then we'll go into the match. All I'm saying is that the pact that we all made that day, whether it be Afghan, American, or Canadian soldier, was that if we're going to go into that valley and take out every single one of these cocksuckers for what they just did to that village, we're going to come back at the end of the war and make sure that village is still there. Because the thing that people don't realize is that, you ask me if I hate the Taliban? Fuck yeah. Could I watch them get wiped off the planet tomorrow? I think it would do the world a service. But it's because of the shit they did to the Afghan people. And that's the mistake people make with these American soldiers, that you hear them saying, Haji this, Haji that, fuck the Taliban, all that crap. But did you ever ask them what they think of the Afghan people themselves, though? And I'll probably tell you, bro, the only reason why I fucking hate the Taliban is because of the shit they did to the Afghans. That's a dumb question. See what I'm saying, I guess? No, I know, it's just... No, it's something I wanted to show you, I guess. Okay, so you know how we were using that double missile attack? Okay, so I put on my X-Wing, an ion missile and a concussion. Okay, so what I'll usually do is I'm just firing a concussion for the countermeasure. Okay, and then firing the ion to stun. The reason why I do that is so that the moment he gets like that and he's stunned, okay, what you should do is fire your ion missile first, because when he's in that stun point, what actually happens is they stack. Okay, so whatever time he was stunned by my missile, I think it's like 5 seconds, and if you hit him when it's only gone through 3 seconds, it still adds up to 10 seconds. You see what I'm saying? Okay, and all we have to do is this. So I hit him with the concussion to pop his seeker. Okay, I fire ion to turn around and knock him out. Okay, you fire your ion to extend it and fire your concussion, and then we both just unload with our blasters. The guy's a sitting fucking duck. And so it's like too many times what people do is they have my build, the Ray Shield. Okay, because they think, oh crap, it's so fucking easy to defeat missiles. You just got to evade them or fucking pop countermeasures. Okay, and I've checked my enemy's builds. I see how many of them use Ray Shields. Okay, it decreases how much your lasers do, but countermeasures go through the fucking roof. No, sorry, but missiles destroy them through the roof. And if they're running that, we can pretty much just wreck them every time. Okay, and it's the same with an interceptor. What I run on that is I run quick lock and cluster missile. So it's like, what are you going to run, I guess? That's more why I was asking you is because I'm going to make a build around yours so we can do this shit together, I guess. That's a really good one. You know what's ironic is that here's something you'll really laugh at. Okay, so the Goliath missile actually does work on interceptors. Even though it moves really slow, what happens is that it'll get just as close as it needs to and then explode and catch the interceptor in the blast radius. I don't know how many times I've killed a fucking A-Wing with that. Okay, but the multi-lock, this is something a lot of people don't know. Okay, you get 10 from killing a player on the defensive, but if you see like a cluster of TIE bombers, okay, or a cluster of X-Wings that are AIs, and they're flying in that star shape, there's 5 of them like that, if you get what I mean? One Goliath missile to the middle and you'll kill all of them. Okay, and at the same time, the multi-lock missile will pretty much pick AIs before actual players. So what I was more saying is that your Y-Wing, even though it's really good, what it does the best is actually farming AIs to keep morale up. And that's not a bad thing, because that's actually what dictates how long their attack is, and how how quickly we go back on the attack, and how long we stay on the attack. Like, did you know how before I was calling out, like, you and me? Yeah, like, remember how before I was calling out, like, we'll take it, fighters take out other players to keep the morale up, and bombers, they take down the fucking Star Destroyer? Okay, well, it's like, if we're on the defensive, because this is something I can actually do, this is something that'll work really well, now that I think about it, and we can win a lot of matches with this if you use those missiles. Okay, so when we're on the defensive, you just track AIs, if you get what I mean, or if you can get a player, I don't really care, go ahead. But focus on farming AIs with the multi-lock and the Goliath. I'll fly behind you in my interceptor or my X-Wing and keep you covered against enemy players by using that ion missile, you see what I'm saying? Ion and concussion. So if they come after you, I'll lock fire the concussion. That's going to force them to pull some kind of maneuver and break off you. You get what I'm saying, I guess? Okay, and the moment they break off you, I'll let you know when they're breaking. Okay, and then that's when I'll fire my ion missile. What you do at that point is you just flip on them. Okay, lock the Goliath and fire it. You get what I'm saying now? Basically, you farm AIs, and if a player comes after you, okay, I'll go after him quickly, fire my missiles and my blasters to break him off. The moment he breaks off, turn around, fire the Goliath, and then go back to the AIs. Don't worry, I'll make sure, like, once he breaks off like that, it's hard to explain. I can stay on someone's ass. The only thing I'm going to have to worry about is somebody getting on my ass, but you see, that's the advantage of having you there, is that literally all I have to do is, like, I'll give you an example, okay, so I go after him, I fire the missiles, he breaks off, you fire the Goliath to chase him, okay, you look back at the AIs, start blocking the multi-locks, and I get an interceptor on my ass. I double tap X, hit triangle, you know where he is, you look back, you lock onto him with one of your multi-lock missiles, and you fire a missile at him, and simultaneously take out 3 other AIs. See what I mean? That's why it's a broken defensive, basically it's a broken defense. It's a very cheesy, overpowered defensive tactic, and as a Canadian, you probably know this, the best defensive teams win championships. That's why the New Jersey Devils have won so many Stanley Cups. It's because they had Martin Brodeur. Like, you can have the best forward line. If you score 4 goals and your goalie lets in 7, you still lose the match. So it's like I've told people, you can like, be the best at killing other players. If you fight a team that knows how to build up morale and do a bunch of DPS to your flagship in the process. So that's more what I'm saying, is that if you and me are sitting there farming AIs, that's the last piece, I guess, then we'll go into the match. If you're farming AIs on the defense, we flip the morale really quick, right? Okay, but then that beam cannon thing you were telling me about with the Goliath missile, okay, if you use that on the capital ships and the Star Destroyer, you can achieve such high DPS that I can literally just, if I cover, and then what I do at that point is with my missiles, I again just cover you. If anyone gets on your ass, I fire my double missile shot at them. But what I should tell you, though, is that when you're attacking capital ships and all that, you know the gyro module on the B-Wing? Okay, it says it reduces the cooldown of your secondary and ammo, right? A lot of people don't use it with the beam cannon because they're like, it has no ammo. But what it actually does, it gives you a 5-second shot. So you can, here, I'll show you something. A lot of people don't know this. It's fucking stupid. Okay, but it increases the DP, it doubles your DPS because it makes it a 5-second cooldown instead of a 10-second cooldown. So if you can actually just keep on target and launch your beam cannon over and over and over again with a rotary cannon, fuck, man. I've stripped a Corvette shields and pretty much took out like half of its health in the first volley. If you do it too, like if you make one sweep on a power system, on a Star Destroyer, or on a shield generator, you'll destroy it. At the same time, the same trick with a rotary cannon on a B-Wing and the ion cannon. If you actually aim that at a Star Destroyer's shields itself while it's up, you can knock out its shields in one ion, like one full charge of the weapons because of the ion factor and also the ion beam, and you'll knock out a Star Destroyer's shields, even if it's full. B-Wing was designed to do that. So I was more saying, I guess, if you're farming AIs, then the Goliath multi-lock missile does work on the Y-Wing, but you can do the same thing technically on a B-Wing. The only advantage to a B-Wing is that you're going to get much more maneuverability out of it. You're going to get a lot more maneuverability out of it. It's weird to explain. It drifts better. It can flip around really fucking quick. And then for the Imperial side, it's really just the same trick we were doing before. I'm guessing you have the same build on your TIE Bomber, right? Okay, and then what I usually use to cover a trick like that is just a TIE Defender, because it's literally the perfect defender. I just run Ion Missile and APS. Basically what it does is, like, the only thing you really have to worry about on the next wing is its shields. Okay, so the moment he gets on your ass, I shunt all my energy into my fucking blasters. So I instantly have overcharged blasters with the APS, and then I start blasting at him, fire the ion missile. If it hits, I'll take out his shields. If he's dead like that, then you just have to turn around and rotary cannon his ass.
Excellent.
And then once we're, that's on defense. Once we're on the attack, I'll use my concussion missile cluster missile, because then I can actually help you, like, take out the flagship. Sorry I took so long on that explanation, my bad. I just realized now, I'm like, damn, it's 5 in the morning. Surprised it's taking this long. It did before too, though. The only thing I don't like is that they say this game is very lore-based, but I kind of understand why Motive changed it, because they said it would be very overpowered. Like the fucking, what's it called, the Imperials already have enough overpowered shit as it is, but the TIE Defender, how it's actually supposed to work, is it's supposed to have 2 TIE Fighter ion cannons on the top wing, and then 2 TIE Interceptor blasters on the 2 bottom wings. So the same build as the B-Wing, just a little bit different. And that's the only thing I don't like, is that they didn't give us the option to do that. Which is really dumb, because it would... You're gonna laugh at this? Remember how I said, oh, I just realized it's gonna cut out my voice there. Which is kind of funny though, because the whole reason in lore, like, it's weird to explain why it has that, is to overpower an X-Wing. It's to be overpowered against an X-Wing. The only advantage an X-Wing has is fucking shields. So it's like if it has ion cannons and interceptor blasters, it can deal with an X-Wing very quickly. But the one thing they did keep to the lore on, they gave us at least one thing, is that it's supposed to have a TIE fighter's, like, launcher tubes built in to the actual, like, cockpit, and then it's supposed to have an interceptor launch tubes built between the two wings. So that's why it has an interceptor fighter, like, so, like, it has both loadouts in essence. I'm gonna change that real quick though, because I don't like how it's been. So I'm guessing you're running your TIE bomber? Okay, is it the beam cannon one or the multi-block Goliath? Okay, go for the Raider, I guess. Well, actually, go for the Raider, but try to farm the AIs, and then I'll cover you against the fighters. In the end, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I'm just giving battle advice. I should say that. It's probably the military guy in me. Probably think I'm like giving up orders and shit. And it's like, no, I'm not. It's just advice. I know the difference between a game and fucking chain of command. Oh, do you know how to like ping people that are shooting at you? Like the last target that shot at you? Oh, okay. If somebody's like literally, if you're taking fire from someone, you double tap X. This is something you should know too as a bomber, because it could just be an AI, and it's very easy for me to take that off your ass. But if you just got shot by something, if you double tap X, it's literally going to target your last known attacker. Okay, so it's a simple system. If you tap triangle, you ping the guy, right? Okay, so just the moment you're getting shot at, double tap X, hit triangle. And then before you've even selected him, you'll send out the ping for the guy. It's weird. But it's really, really smart. It's a very easy way to let your team know that somebody's on your ass. Okay, so we have... Right there, yeah. I marked the same guy. Ion missile out. Oh shit, I have a fighter on my tail. I gotta brake high. Give me a second. Okay, we got an interceptor. Let's take him off the scene real quick. Yeah, he's on your ass. I'm trying to get him. He broke off. Missile out. He's hit. He's disabled.
Damn it! Attack that target.
Here's our next target. Fuck. This guy's not bad, actually. Watch out, Nut. You got a target on your ass. Missile out. He's disabled. Get him.
Attack that target. Republic Corvette destroyed. They're targeting our cruisers. Protect our defensive line. Titan, engage that target.
He's disabled. Get him. Ooh, I've got a target on my ass. Yeah. Shunting all power to my shields. Try to get my defenses up. Fuck. What was he using? I guess rapid fire cannon? Yeah.
Here I come.
I got an overpowered weapon and it's called Vaporgeddon. Let's do this. Oh, get that Y-Wing. He's gonna wreck our cruiser if we don't.
Corvette destroyed. Attack that target. Impossible! Blast! The rebels destroyed our cruiser. Yeah, they got me. Take it up. Back in the fight.
Oh, shit. I'm trying to get to you. Give me a second. Damn it. Remember, if you get a guy shooting at you, double tap X hit triangle. That way I can target him right away. Because what I'm doing right now is I've got it set to our squadron, so that way I can actually like find you and follow you. So the only way I can target them is if you ping them, in essence.
The Republic took down our raider. The enemy is attacking our light cruisers.
Watch out, I got a tail. Now I got two of them on me.
Vanguard squadron destroy our cruiser. Hostile headed my way. Rebel forces are targeting our flagship. Do not let them take down our destroyer. Moving to engage. Rebel fighter locking on. Fire on my target. They're attacking our power system. The Republic has destroyed our power system. Corvette is being destroyed.
That was good.
Titan, engage that target. Enemy frigates in range. Destroy them so we can advance on the MC-79.
And we dropped a rocket turret. Shit. Gotta blow that up. That can do a lot of damage to our Star Destroyer.
Attack that target.
He's coming right for us. Lead him a bit and we'll get him.
Enemy locked on. Momentum is ours. Press the advantage. Joining the fight. Raider destroyed. Attack that target. Attack there. Fire on my target.
He had a turn mine on you. I took it out. You've also got an A-wing chasing you, and then try and break him off. Yeah, he broke off. He's around the other side of the pillar now. No, he's disabled. He's about to crash. Watch this. He walked into your missile. That was hilarious. Who the fuck is shooting me? I kept tapping my target selector. Okay. I'm grabbing my anti-A-wing TIE fighter. Fuck these guys.
Heading to the battle. Shields disabled on our flagship.
No, look at him. He's crippling our Star Destroyer with his rockets. That's why I marked him.
Protect the Star Destroyer.
Never mind. He literally just blew it up with all those rockets.
We failed. The Star Destroyer is lost.
Yeah, they were actually really good, I'll give them that. They were coordinated. And it also didn't help that one of our teammates fucking ditched, to be honest. Oh, okay. I probably got like one more match of me and then I gotta go to bed, but are you gonna be on tomorrow though? Because I'm usually on every day if you want to play. Oh, okay, I get what you mean. Same, well, I work night shifts too, it's just I usually wake up at noon and then go to work and then fucking get home around like midnight. I'm like, fuck it. It's just now that it's 5 in the morning, I'm like, fuck it, if I go to sleep now, well, it's because I usually go to bed by 4, because then I get a good, like, 8 hours sleep, and then wake up at noon again, go to work at 4 o'clock, but whatever, I'll just wake up tomorrow like 2 or 3. It's the only advantage I like about working night shifts, I guess, is that you don't actually have to be awake at, like, fucking 8 o'clock and then be at work within an hour. You wake up at noon and you got 4 hours till you gotta get there. Oh damn, I just noticed there was a piece of shatter on the plate too. I'm definitely taking that real quick. Let's do this. Oh, we're allied, finally. There we go, I can grab my X-Wing. We're gonna laugh at a funny joke with this. Do you know where George Lucas got the whole idea for the Rebels and the Imperials were? And that's why I cracked the joke were the Allies. World War II. No joke. The Emperor is Hitler. No joke. I'm not sure who Luke Skywalker is in the Allies. No, but he did get the whole basis for the idea from World War II. Well, the war that they were fighting, pretty much. You know, the truth is, now don't get me wrong, it's only a story, so that's why I think people can have these kind of lore loves. I mean, it's not real life. But you'll see, like, Imperial Sympathizers, as it's called, who will say that, you know, like, well, the Empire actually did good for the galaxy. They brought up the economy, you know, and fucking, what's it called, and they reduced crime and all that shit. And they also policed the situation a lot better than the New Republic did. And I kind of laugh at the same things. This just shows how much you proved it on it, because that's the joke an ally, like a, what's it called, a rebel sympathizer like me would say back is, yeah, you do realize he brought up the economy by bringing back a little thing called slavery. Yeah, that's not too cool. He policed the situation by being a brutal dictator, and he reduced crime by putting anybody who even stole a loaf of bread in jail. And the irony is that's why everyone used to praise Hitler. They would say, he brought the world out of the Depression. Yeah, but he did so by making the Jews slaves. Like, come on. You know, like, he policed the situation better. Yeah, by being a fucking dictator.
Vanguard 4 standing by.
And he gave wealth to the economy. Yeah, by being a fucking socialist. Like, you see what I mean?
Vanguard 3 here. Ready for battle. This is Vanguard 1. Let's do this.
So it's like the joke of it is that when I meet people who are extreme Imperial sympathizers, I kind of have to laugh. At least this is only a game.
You know what to do. Go get him, Vanguard.
I should have hit the refresher before takeoff.
Okay, so we should go... Yeah, we'll get him first. Get the 2 TIE fighters. You can go after the... Well, actually, there's an interceptor that's engaging directly. I'm going to take him off you guys' ass. Oh shit, I've got a tail. I got a missile locking shit.
They got it locked.
Thank you. I gotta break back to you guys for cover fire.
Blow that up.
There's one.
Missile inbound.
Fuck.
The Empire's almost ready to advance. Imperial Raider, destroy. Let's give him hell. Blast that target. Shoot that. Enemy's locked onto me.
Shit, I gotta chase.
Blow that up.
Thank you.
Blast that target.
He's trying to escape.
Shoot that. We've got an advantage. Let's keep it that way. Locking onto me. Missile coming at me. Time to go on the offensive.
I need cover fire. I got 2 of them on me right now.
Imperial Raider destroyed. Empire's on the back foot. Let's keep up this pressure.
Got a missile coming. Okay, I'm coming.
They're going for Alpha.
Can't lose that frigate. Oh, yeah.
Blast
Get that bomber.
Better help.
All bombers engage the Raider.
Shoot
Next target.
We took down the Raider. Good news. We've reached their cruisers. Deploying a Corvette.
Take down the interceptors that we've got. That way the bombers have a free run.
Locked on to me. Vanguard Squadron, I'm on the way.
I got two guys on my ass. Can anybody try to break them off? They're low though.
Someone warned the Empire I'm coming. I'm here for you. Enemies locked onto me.
Here they come. The Empire is targeting our flagship.
Damn it. That was a big fuck up on my end. Fuck controller guy.
Flying to battle. That very dangerous battle. Blast that target.
We're passing on the enemy fleet. Corvette is inbound to assist.
Blow that up. They got a lock.
Here, I got one capital ship.
Lost a cruiser.
I need cover fire though. Somebody's lighting me the hell up. Yeah, him.
All Imperial cruisers eliminated.
Blow that up.
I got a tail though. I need cover fire.
Missile coming.
Like 2 guys. Every time I launch, I got these 2 guys on me. I keep marking them.
Blast that target.
Heads up, enemy following you.
Now it was 3. Even the TIE Defender was on my ass.
Well, I'm here, I guess. What?
Okay, we gotta take out that support craft. He's gonna drop. Yeah, there we go. Okay. That's
Shoot
the next guy. Bombers focus on the Star Destroyer though. We get to deal with the fighters, so that way, like they can fucking what's it called? Have a clear run at the Star Destroyer.
Empire took out our Corvette.
Got him.
Blow that up.
Fucking ion cannons coming. Even the Star Destroyer is trying to kill me now. Okay, I'm gonna go for an assault on the shield generators. Oh, I didn't realize we were on the cooldown. Whoops, wrong guy. I meant to get that bomber.
That one's safe. Blast that target.
I got him.
Disabled our shields.
Shoot that.
Give you a little nudge there, buddy.
Blow that up.
Our shield generators have been destroyed. Our power system is under attack. We've lost our power system.
Blast that target.
Raider down. Nice one, Vanguard.
Okay, I'm gonna grab my hit and run X-Wing. I'll fire piercing torpedoes at the shield generators.
Another day, another battle.
Keep going for the shield generator now. Double volley out.
Got a lock on me.
Okay, I hit the secondary, but I got a tail. Yeah, the TIE Defender.
Enemy shields disabled. Attack that Star Destroyer.
Okay, going back to the shield generator for another volley. We should take it out.
Dodge that missile. Whew.
Lost.
Fuck, I guess they took it out before I could... Oh no, it's going... There we go.
We've eliminated their shield generators.
Okay, I'm gonna go for their power supply, and then I have to go back for a resupply. I'm at 5% health, though, so... All power to the forward shields.
We're attacking their power system.
Hated that.
Okay, the power system's at 20%. Oh, damn, I just blew up hitting the hull. I was at 5%. Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna keep the bombers tracked. Bombers go after the Reaper or the Raider and kill it really quick. All fighters go after the bombers.
Blow that up. That should help.
The MC-75 can't last much longer.
What?
Come on, get the bombers. Get the bombers. Never mind.
Lost. All survivors, retreat immediately.
Yeah, but we did pretty good, though. They were just a really good team. That bomber knew how to sweep under the shields and hit our shield generators really quick. Yeah, but I was going to send you a friend request, though, if you want to join us, Wolfman. I'll just give him a few seconds to see if he accepts it. Oh, okay. Have a good night. Oh, there we go. The other guy joined up at least, so. Okay, yeah. Just give me a few seconds. Yeah, sorry I kind of went on a bit of a rant there earlier. I get why you left the stream. It's just, it's very rare I actually meet a Canadian online, I guess. At least you know I don't have a problem starting conversations with people. But I do appreciate the fact that you understood the message that I sent you earlier. That actually means a lot. You'd be surprised. It's like very scary. I mean, even if I do want to, I just. I don't even know if he's gonna join. I'll send him another invite. Oh, okay, so we received it. That's odd. I'll probably just have to give it a few seconds for him to join. Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah, it's a bit confusing the way the EA Friends works. I get what you mean. Okay, so I guess Fleet Battles? Okay, I started the search. But that's really cool they have a cross-platform, though. I think that's really unique. Well, because the truth is, and this is why they said they did it, and I think that's really, really fucking true, and at the same time, very smart. Whether, like, a Star Wars fan is always a gaming, like, anyone who's a gamer is a Star Wars fan. Anyone who's a Star Wars fan is usually a gamer, regardless of what system they own. So there was many thoughts that, you know, like, maybe this could create console wars or all that crap, but they felt that, you know, like, no, just because the fact that it was Star Wars and how many Star Wars fans play the games, like, everyone would kind of just connect on that alone, so they went with it. So that's what I mean, you're right. I think it was very smart to think of that, you know, like, regardless of what system we own, like, a Star Wars fan is a Star Wars fan. Yes. And then... Well, it's weird. At the beginning, you pick a preferred faction, but it only adds a 20% weight. So that's why a lot of my friends have told me it sucks that you can't switch it. And I'm like, well, you don't need to. Well, yeah, that's the funny thing is that... But if you look it up, though, I actually did check, because of that 20% weight, the majority, because I picked the Rebels, the majority of my matches have been as the Rebels, so. Oh, well, I think you can pick, you don't. I think at the beginning you can pick no preferred faction, too. Actually, I don't know. But I get what you're saying, though. that randomness from the cross-platform, it makes it more competitive, but at the same time more open-minded. Like, you can't just sit there and say, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I've seen people complain that on computer you could have VR, you could have HOTAS, all that kind of crap, and I'm like, but you can do the same thing on a PlayStation. You can do the same thing on an Xbox, so. Same thing, if I got a PlayStation. But you'll kind of laugh at this one, though. The flight sticks, you can't find me on PlayStation right now, but you can still find some for Xbox. Yep, it's because Squadrons came out right at the same time as the pandemic happened, on top of Flight Simulator 4, Flight Simulator 2020. So it's like, with all the shit being backlogged as it is with electronics, and then this game coming out, and also that game coming out, they're all sold out till like next March. Like every single site I went on, I couldn't find them. Sorry, I got the hiccups. I'm trying to eat a few of these ribs I bought before my next match starts. No, I forgot to cut out there. But yeah, because of the fact that like Microsoft 2020 Simulator came out on top of like the Squadrons coming out, they're all backlogged. Like I couldn't find any on any site. I was like, damn it. But I found some for Xbox. So I was just sitting there thinking, I'm like, maybe I want to tell them that you actually don't need a professional gaming computer like to be good to go on this. The only difference between a computer and this is that you have more options on what kind of flight stick you're going to use. But if you look up all the fucking flight sticks for this game, the HOTAS, which is the one you can get for the PS4 or the Xbox, the Thrustmaster is the best one, and it's also the cheapest. So what's the point? Oh yeah, I forgot to grab my TIE Defender. Are you running? Oh, are you running a Reaper? God damn it. Okay, so the match is starting. And we're gonna try and finish my coffee. Okay. Bandit. Crazy cat. I guess you can come sit on me, I don't care. This cat weighs 30 pounds. He's huge, and he's not fat, he's a Maine Coon. He's just fucking huge. Oh, are you running the Reaper? Anybody got a shield?
Titan 1 at the ready. Titan 3 forming up. Titan 2 at the ready. The New Republic is grand bound. Take out their Star Cruiser now.
Our lives for the Empire.
There is no greater honor.
No, I know we have a Reaper on the group though.
Need assistance.
Come on, throw me a shield, buddy. I need a shield. You give me that shield, I'm as good as the next one. I'll keep you alive. I promise. Never mind.
Keep it up.
Yeah, I'll go for that Y-wing.
Locked on.
Shunting all power into my weapons.
Enemy has the advantage. Rectify this immediately.
Shots fired.
Shit, someone's lighting me the hell up.
Corvette eliminated. Good work.
Can I get some cover fire? That gunship could use the right build. Okay. Okay.
Headed your way. I'm under assault. You're good to go.
Corvette destroyed. Marvelous.
Yeah, I'm going after the X-Wing now.
Damn it!
Oh, I got marked. I gotta break off.
They're on.
Shit. God. Damn, I hate being marked.
Ship is disabled.
Here I come. I'm here for you.
You're too far ahead of our feet.
Missile inbound. I'm taking damage.
Cruiser is both independent. Right on target.
Moving to engage.
Maintain this pressure and the enemy won't stand a chance.
There you go.
Okay, he's actually being pretty smart there, support craft. We can only catch him when he comes out. He's gonna literally oh, I see what they're doing. They're bomb strafing and then going back in for a resurprise. Okay, so we just need to literally sit by our capital ships. Wait for them to come to us. Engage them only when they come to us. If they fire protons or missiles, take them out of the sky. Like, you can shoot their protons down. Pull out.
Looking good out there. That should help.
Oh, hey, I've had enough of you, buddy. You came out. Let's do this.
They've destroyed one of our cruisers.
Yeah, they got me.
Oh, give them that. They're good.
That was too close. Back in the mud. Titan, engage that target.
Those three guys are the main targets. They keep engaging and covering each other.
I got you. Enemy locked on. Ah! Taking fire. Just missed me. That should help. Attack that target.
You're not bad.
Fire on my target.
Defensive formation, Titan. They're coming for our destroyer now.
Titan, engage that
He's low.
target.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're sitting back in the A9 gunship. Like the Hollywood guy, he's AI farming for them.
Attack that target.
He's doing a proton torpedo run on our Star Destroyer. Like, yep, he just hit the shield generator. That's the next guy. Take him out before he gets close enough. Leave the other guy alone. He's gonna get away anyways.
There you go. Taking enemy fire.
Impressive, Titan 4. I owe you nothing. They disabled the shields on our Star Destroyer. All ships. Focus on those frigates. Support is on the way.
I gotta resupply.
Joining the fight.
You got a gunship on your tail.
Fire on my target.
Oh, he dropped a mine back here.
Heading to the battle.
Okay, go for that group of AI X-Wings right there.
No! Fire on my target.
Star Destroyer's shields are down.
You're good to go.
Generators destroyed. We no longer have shields. Enemy fighters attacking the pass.
I'm here for you.
The Star Destroyer is weakening. Guard it with your knives. Our power system is lost. Those hull breaches will be high priority targets for the rebels.
Damn it.
Steer clear of their ships. We aren't ready to advance yet. Frigates in
He's on my ass. I gotta break
Calling
back.
the Raider to assault their defenses.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna grab my bomber and try to help you guys take these things out real quick.
Ready to engage. They've opened fire.
Oh, he got me with the Goliath, but that would have exploded right by his frigate, so there's a very good chance that D's almost done.
Raider destroyed. Blast!
There we go. Gotta rip apart that next one, guys. Come on. We gotta come back strong. Let's do this.
Ready to fight.
Admiral Sloan would be proud.
Rebel locked on.
Defensive formation.
I'm unloading everything I fucking got. Oh. Then they got me. You see if I hit it?
Enemy frigate destroyed.
There we go.
Titan, I am inbound.
Wrong target.
That's on me.
Critical damage sustained. Protect the Star Destroyer.
Back.
Unacceptable losses sustained. This battle is over.
Are you going to be on tomorrow, though? Only because I didn't even notice. It's actually like 6 in the morning for me. I work night shift, so it doesn't really matter that it's this late, but it's like I got to be up by 3 tomorrow to make sure I'm at work by 4. I know, but I mean, like, are you going to be on tomorrow, though? Because I'm usually on every day. Oh, I get that, totally. You take whatever time you can get. I get that totally. No, I get that totally, I guess. But well, next time you're on, if you see me on, don't be afraid to send me an invite. You know, like I got ADHD, I'm very like friendly, I guess. Does that make sense? Oh crap! He can't even hear me. Are you still there? Oh yeah, I just wanted to. Okay, I was gonna say don't. Yeah, well, if you see me on though, whenever you're on, don't be afraid to invite me or anything. I got ADHD. So like the truth is, I'm just one of those kind of people that sits there waiting for someone to invite him, I guess. I'd rather play this game with a squad than alone. Other than really you and me, that's the sad truth. We were trying. Well, I was trying to cover you as I could, and we were attacking the same targets as bombers. So. And he wasn't even. No, but the funny thing is, he wasn't even doing it. This is the dumb truth. He switched to something else very quickly, and the other guy, what he was doing was on the defense. Okay, when they were just going after their frigates, he was staying in the support. Okay, and then he was literally just dropping when he came out, he would drop a turret mine. Okay, and then cover one of his friends who, like, he killed me once just because I was attacking. Like, all he really did was to come out and drop turret mines. He sat back and kept giving them shields, kept giving them resupplies. I'm like, he did what he was supposed to do. Like their support was a really good player. Then when he finally came out in the fucking X-Wing, like, I thought he was just one of those camping motherfuckers. No, but then he came out in the X-Wing, and he was really hard to chase for me. So I was like, damn, this guy knows how to play. I'll give him that. So the sad truth was, like, our that's what I mean, is that our support, it's fun to see someone play like that, but it's really dumb when you've got a support who can't do the same, because honestly, he was really good in the X-Wing. It's the X-Wing where he showed his skills, but what he was doing in the support craft is just, it's kind of a basic strategy, you know what I mean? Go out, drop a turret mine, so because it'll get you kills without having to expose yourself. Okay, anybody who chases you is going to get shot by the mine, and then if you're just resupplying your friends, there's a fuckload of points right there, so. I don't know, if I ever fight him again, I want to take a look at his gunship build. They look pretty good, I guess. Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, if you see me on again, just send me an invite. Have a good night, bro. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah. Well, because the truth is like, this is the funny thing I've noticed about this game, which, don't get me wrong, I think that it's smart they did it like that, but I'll play, like, I'll play by myself, and then I'll meet a lot of good people who know how to play, but then the teams that I'm fighting, they're lackluster, they're not really the best, they just look like a bunch of people who are stringed together. So I noticed that if you're in single player, like if you're queuing by yourself, you're more likely to find teams that are by themselves. And that's something they really did do. Instead of doing skill-based matchmaking, they did squad-size matchmaking. And you can see it, though, because then the moment I squad up with someone, like I said, it wasn't you. You and me were working really well together. We fight a team like that who's got at least 2 or 3 guys squatted up, and you see the situation, I guess. Yeah, because if you're anything under that, and that's the dumb truth, is that the moment you try to play with one friend and you're 2 people, you don't do so well because you fight all these other extreme teams. But once you get a group of 3 or 4 together, then that's how you really dominate the game. Because I was playing like 2 days ago with these 3 guys that were really, really, really good at the game. We went 15 matches straight without losing. And it's not really that what they were good at was shooting and destroying shit. It's just more they were really good at working together as a team. And I was like, that proves the point of what we're talking about right there. Like, they weren't even the best players, they were just a good team, and they won 15 matches fucking straight. I was like, damn. Sorry. Well, no, there's a trick with that, with the bomber I should tell you about. Okay, so what you do with the bomber is you go the other way around. Okay, what you want to do is, you know the ion jet engine where it says it speeds up how quickly you generate boost when it's all in your engines, but it reduces how long you can use it for? So what it does is it gives you 100% increase, but only 25% boost, if you get what I mean. Okay, but the game doesn't tell the difference when you convert power into your weapons. So it charges up twice as... So basically what I'm saying is that technically, because the amount of boost it gives you for actual boost, it should only give you 25% of your weapon charge, right? No, it fully charges your weapons. But because of how fast it charges up, what you do with the TIE bomber is you literally just... You take the rotary cannon, because it's rotary cannon. The charge up for extra damage is really long. And instead of charging that up, you charge up your boost. Okay, and the moment your boost is full, you convert everything to your weapons and you get a full shot. Now what happens is, you don't actually put everything in your weapons, because when you shunt power, you lose energy to that system, unless it's fully charged. You see, that's the trick people don't know. So a lot of times what I do with my TIE fighter is I keep everything in my engines, and then I shunt to my weapons, so I only get a short burst of overpowered weapons, but it's enough to kill someone. As long as I don't take all the power out of my engines, I won't lose maneuverability, I just lose boost. Well, I'll lose a bit of maneuverability, but you don't just stop dead straight. And I found out that's only caused by not having full power. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So what you want to do is you want to keep all of your... If you're ever shunting power, make sure that when you shunt, the other weapon system always has full energy. But the cool part is this. The only thing you really have to worry about is shunting power to weapons, because when you're shunting power to your engines, it's usually just to boost and get the fuck out of there. What does it matter if your weapons go offline? Oh, there we go. Well, this is the trick. You never actually shunt all your... Here, I'll show you what I mean. So say I'm trying to get to the... No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. So this is I'm just giving you advice on that. Okay, so like, say you're boosting towards the ship and you want to generate power. Put everything into your weapons. Convert to your boost. You get a full thing of boost. Okay, but your weapons don't go offline. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, but yeah, so basically what it is that, so when you want to get towards the gunship itself, like to boost really quickly to a flagship, put everything in your weapons, shunt to your boost, and then use all your boost up. And then by the time it goes away, you'll have charged up enough weapons to give yourself some more boost. See what I'm saying? And you convert to boost. But the thing I was talking about with the rotary cannon, this is a broken system. So with the ion jet engine, okay, what you do is you turn around and you put everything into your weapons, or everything into your engines, double tap square, okay, and just shunt all your power, okay, into your weapons, and then start firing off your rotary cannon. Now you're in that overcharge state. By the time you're done the overcharge state, because of how long a rotary cannon can shoot for, you already, if you've got everything in your engines, you're already generating boost while you're shooting that, and you've already got a full boost from the ion jet engine by the time you hit 25% of your full charge. So basically unlimited overpowered energy in a TIE bomber. That's why it's considered to be its rotary cannon is considered to be so overpowered. A lot of people don't know you have to have the ion jet engine. That's it. And that's how you get unlimited fire, not just unlimited fire, unlimited overpowered fire. Like that extra damage shot. So you just put everything into your weapons, put everything into your engines, wait for the boost to fill up, and then shunt everything to your, just put everything into your weapons and put everything in the engines with this build and never take it out. Because you're actually generating faster weapon energy by shunting than you are by charging. And by always making sure that your engine power is fully charged up, you're never going to lose any maneuverability. Like I said, you'll lose a bit, but you'll never just totally just stop in midair and you can't turn or anything. Like, you know how that happens sometimes? That only happens if the system you're shunting from doesn't have maximum power when you shunt. Like, if you're at half power and you shunt to weapons, yeah, your engines are going to go offline. Even if you're at 9 and, even if you're just missing one tick to have full engine power, it'll happen. The moment that blue light is on, no, you're good. It's distributing enough power back into the system as you're shunting to not lose total maneuverability. And in fact, what happens is that little loss of maneuverability happens for like a second. That's it. So the coolest part is that if you're in a TIE fighter and you're trained on the guy's ass and you know you're about to take a shot on him, you only have to do slight modifications to shoot. So you don't really have to worry about losing maneuver. So I do the same thing. I have a build with a TIE fighter where I use the ion jet engine. And I literally just keep everything in my engine so that my mobility is through the roof. And then I just, when I want to shoot, shunt power into my weapons. By the time I'm done shooting my weapons, my ion jet engine will charge. Now, where the rotary cannon on the TIE bomber works to having unlimited weapon power for the extra damage. The thing with a TIE fighter is it drains too quick, but what it will still give you those unlimited shooting. So it's like by the time you shoot through that like glowing red bar and then the basic red bar, your engines will have charged up again. You can just shunt power. Okay, and that's how you see like TIE fighters just sitting behind a fucking shield generator shooting nonstop. Okay, they do the same thing with the Interceptor with a rapid fire cannon. Rapid fire cannons charge up so fucking fast. Okay, all you have to do is just put everything into your weapons and then shunt power into the... What they do is they sit behind it because it doesn't matter if you lose maneuverability. They charge up the rapid, they hold the button down, they put everything into their weapons, and the moment they see it drain low, shunt power. The moment they see it drain low, shunt power. It's fucking... Shunting on the Imperials, this is what I was more explaining. It says it when you do it, that shunting power with the Imperial ships is a dangerous situation if you don't know what you're doing. But the truth is, it gives you an edge in combat. And what it actually is, it's the only way for a TIE fighter to counter an X-Wing. A lot of people have wondered in the Star Wars universe, how did the TIE fighter even take on the X-Wing considering it has no shield generator? It's literally its power shunter. They say that the TIE fighter relied on maneuverability and its firepower more than shielding. That's literally what they meant. Is that basically if you're in a shitty situation, you need to get the fuck out of there quick, you shunt everything to your engines. It'll give you a boost to your maneuver. For 10 seconds when you shunt power, it doesn't just give you boost to your engines, it also gives you plus 15 maneuverability and top speed. Oh, yeah. You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, I'll play one more match before I get off. No, it's not what I was laughing. My girlfriend was watching. I totally forgot. I should shut that down so I have a better connection now. She's not watching.